How you feel and know when you have a strong connection with someone. Relationships with depth. Not all new acquaintances are easy for us. Few of us are naturally gifted at connecting with complete strangers in the blink of an eye. Sometimes, however, we meet people who give us the feeling that we have known them forever. We feel a familiarity and connection with them that we otherwise only experience with people in our immediate circle. When the chemistry is right, spontaneous meetings with strangers feel like a class reunion with childhood friends that you just haven't seen for a while. Some people also report a strong sense of déjà vu when they shake hands with new contacts for the first time. But what exactly does it feel like when we feel a strong, not to say cosmic, connection with a person? Here are a few clues that you can use to recognize such a deep connection. 1. You can be yourself. We've all been there. We meet new people and are initially insecure and extremely cautious about what we say and how we behave. Hardly anyone spontaneously lets you look at their cards or comes out of their socially trained shell. We always behave a little stiffly and stiltedly, taking refuge in small talk and clutching our glass or other defensive accessories as if it were a matter of life or death. We are all the more surprised when we make new acquaintances who simply feel good and comfortable. The ice is broken in a matter of seconds, and we find ourselves in the middle of a conversation full of wit, esprit, and interesting added value. We don't even notice how this conversation carries us away like a gentle wave on a beautiful beach. The surroundings fade out, other people are off the air and cease to exist altogether. We literally lose ourselves in this dialogue with this basically complete stranger, but in an extremely pleasant way. It is not necessary, and our intuition agrees with us on this point, that we pretend or weigh every sentence on the gold scale. We can actually be ourselves and enjoy every moment of it. 2. There are no misunderstandings. When it comes to communication, some people simply have a problem. Every sentence is misunderstood or deliberately ends up in the wrong place. They twist our words around in our mouths, are completely unreceptive to sarcasm or irony, and simply don't understand a word we say. Some of our contemporaries then quickly become angry because they don't feel respected or valued enough. They then think we are joking at their expense and making fun of them. Some even detect malicious intent because they simply can't follow what we're saying. We can usually tell quite quickly whether we have a connection with someone or whether a conversation is turning into a verbal Herculean task. Not so with people with whom we feel a strong connection from the very first second. They know exactly what we mean and have no interest in being deliberately misunderstood. Even our quirky bon mots and critical interjections are well received. If we then manage to make our new conversation partners laugh from time to time, we know for sure that this connection is a very special one and has a chance of lasting. 3. You share the same type of humor. Like sarcasm and irony, humor is a very important common denominator that you either share or you don't. In the latter case, any conversation will be difficult. In the latter case, any conversation will be difficult and feel like dancing on thin ice. Nothing is more tedious than having to explain every word you say to the other person. Conversations that end up on the verbal dissection table are tedious, fruitless, and laid nowhere, except perhaps to a tangible misunderstanding. If, on the other hand, everything runs smoothly in terms of humor, and that from the very first minute, this contact certainly has a future. Being able to laugh about the same things and not take the same aspects of life deadly seriously is a valuable and important basis for human interaction. 4. You won't run out of things to talk about anytime soon. How exhilarating does it feel to have a genuine, in-depth conversation with someone spontaneously? As tedious as bumpy attempts at small talk are, it is liberating to be able to just chat away with a relative stranger. The topics range from God and the world, and the consensus that can be found is overwhelming. Soon, no topic is off limits, and you are sharing your views on socio-political minefields, such as religion or politics, without a care in the world. Such conversations are often remembered for years to come. 5. You want to spend more time together. You meet, get on brilliantly, and like each other a lot. What could be more obvious than arranging to meet up again? After all, it's not very often in life that we spontaneously feel such a deep connection with people. Wanting to spend more time together is therefore the logical consequence. You probably discovered a lot of shared interests and hobbies when you first met, which you can now explore in more depth as a couple. The feeling of having met someone who shares the same passions is truly priceless. 6. Everyone keeps their space. A real connection with depth doesn't need superficial conditions to last. Really good and stable relationships can withstand a longer period of separation. True friendships are those that can easily pick up where the last conversation ended after years of estrangement. In such cases, it doesn't matter how often you see each other and meet face to face. The same applies to interpersonal relationships. Quality trumps quantity. Friendship and love can only grow if they are given enough space to do so. Anyone who restricts them and puts them in chains will only be able to watch helplessly as they wither away and withdraw from us, even though that is exactly what we wanted to prevent. When the universe builds bridges, some people have come to stay. Others merely cross our orbit for a brief moment, like a shining comet, and yet leave deep traces and a proper impression. According to the teachings of Buddhism, every person we meet in our lives is a teacher for us. We can always benefit from this contact if we remain attentive and open to new insights. In order to feel a deep connection with someone, there is no need for years of suffering to be shared or emotional trench warfare to be fought with or against each other. The very special spark that is ignited when the two right people meet is clear and obvious to everyone involved. It ignites a veritable firework display of similarities that we would not experience with countless other people even years later. Some people are simply heaven sent. This cosmic or universal bond is stronger than anything we can imagine. When higher powers build bridges for us, we humans should not hesitate to use them.